Alright, ladies and gentlemen, I'm here on the show to talk about some NFL news, so we're going to get right to it here. So some breaking news that came out yesterday, the hashtag Patriots are signing running back Rhamondre Stevenson to a 4-year deal worth $36 million per at rap sheet. $36 million, really healthy. Rhamondre gets that. It's the Patriots, so you pay your players that are like good. So it's understandable. He's underrated for sure. But you can't say his contract ain't in. I get that. Like I get it. I think it's a solid contract, and I think he's a really underrated running back. And it's like $9 million a year is decent for a second, third tier running back. I'm not saying he's a first tier running back, but I think he's in that second, third tier. But I fully understand if you want to say it's overpaid or not worth it. But he's the best running back they have, so of course they're going to extend him. Former Commanders offensive coordinator Eric Bieniemy, he reportedly did not allow his players to wear their hats backwards last season. Quote from Commanders offensive tackle Sam Cosmi, end quote, that was something that we as players, offensive side, we weren't allowed to wear a hat backwards. Seems like he had bigger issues working last season than to be on people about backwards hats. Should have been more worried about that offense last year, how bad they were. What's wrong with a backwards hat? I mean, why does there have to be a rule? It just makes no sense. Some coaches have those weird things, and that's one of them. Rumors, end quote, QB salary cap has been discussed by some hashtag NFL owners due to how rapidly quarterback contracts are growing, per at Tom Pelissero on the at Rich Eisen show. So there could maybe be a QB salary cap. It's been discussed by some owners. Will that actually come true? I don't know. And quote, there's certainly been discussions within the league among certain owners about even the idea of a quarterback cap. That at some point, you don't want quarterback numbers to go over a certain percentage of your salary cap. To my knowledge, that hasn't really gained traction, in part because of so many teams have paid their quarterbacks. I don't think this is. I guess it's been discussed, but they're not doing it. It seems like, I wouldn't say this is damaging the sport with all the quarterbacks getting paid, because that's just how it is now. But at 20% of your salary cap on one player is crazy. So it could even be more than that. But if your quarterback's like, I think if you think he's can be a future superstar, like if he's an up and coming quarterback or already a superstar, then yeah, you pay him. But if it's like a mid tier guy, then I probably wouldn't pay him. The QBs are taking a lot of cap. It makes sense, but I just don't think this will happen. But if you're going to do it just for quarterback position, then you need to do it for each position along with overall cap. But at some point you have to draw the line. Because say if Tua gets like $50+ million a year, then you need to maybe think about that QB cap. But yeah, that's just a rumor about QB salary cap from the Rich Eisen show, said by Tom Pelissero. AB was on some pivot thing. He says Big Ben's the reason why he started for the Steelers via the pivot. Ben Roethlisberger, the only reason I even started for the Steelers, literally had to go to tell Bruce Arians, like, yo, I need AB at the X. He needs professional help. That hit really changed him. Remember that hit from Vontaze Burfict? So, there's a quote, less than 10% chance that hashtag Vikings QB JJ McCarthy starts over Sam Darnold week 1 per Albert Breer. End quote. Kevin O'Connell put together a detailed step-by-step development plan for McCarthy that'll require the quarterback to hit certain milestones before the team presses him into real action. Honestly, I feel this is kind of smart by Kevin O'Connell. I think that's fine. I think people will overreact, but the truth is it's better this way because you don't want to kill his confidence. He goes out there and struggles and you kill his confidence. I'm not a J.J. McCarthy fan. I don't think he's that good, but maybe this could help him develop. Look, I'm not really a J.J. McCarthy fan, but I do applaud them for taking development much seriously. Because some of those first round picks haven't worked. But really, as I'm saying, I like what they're doing. But it's actually smart. If a rookie isn't ready, don't just throw him out there. It's better to wait a year. And I think it'll take time to learn the playbook. A lot of guys get thrown out there too early or in a bad situation, destroys their confidence, makes them second guess themselves, and I think it's great of a coach to do that. So, Commanders head coach Dan Quinn says that Jayden Daniels has the hunger of a younger player, but the swagger of a veteran. And quote, he has the humility and kind of the hunger of the young player. I've got a lot to prove. I've still got a lot to learn, but he also has the swagger and calmness of a veteran player. So I think those 50-plus starts from ASU, Arizona State, and LSU, that seems to come about. You see him on the field and in the huddle, that's where he's at his best. He could be the best quarterback of this draft. Maybe they could finally have their franchise quarterback. 49ers star tight end George Kilpatrick report says he's lost 30 pounds and wasn't able to lift following core muscle surgery this offseason, he told Bussin' WTB. I couldn't lift, I couldn't do any upper body because of my shoulder and my rib. And I couldn't do lower body because of my core surgery. I didn't lift from the Super Bowl until almost mid-March. I went a month without doing anything. Well, I hope he recovers. Because they'll need him pretty well. He's not about not, but you'd love to see more in the receiving end than in the blocking end. Because he's really a blocker, but you want to see more receiving-wise. Because it feels like he's become much more of a blocking tight end than a receiving tight end. So, rumors. Hashtag Steelers QB Justin Fields has reportedly been struggling so far during the team's offseason program, per Mark Kaboly. End quote, the arm strength, the speed, and playmaking with his legs are undeniable. However, he showed inconsistent accuracy and relied on his feet too quickly after the first read. That stuff can be fixed, but maybe not throughout a training camp. Wait, you mean that he's not magically fixed after leaving Chicago where people said he would? I mean, the GM's not going to say he's been terrible. A GM's obviously going to say, oh yeah, he's a good young player, or something like that. But yeah, apparently he's been struggling. But I guess Mark Kaboly, isn't like that trustworthy. But I don't know, it's hard to say if he's been struggling because I haven't seen any fucking clips. Now, the Giants are signing all-UFL running back Jacob Sailors, who went undrafted in 2023. He put 460 rushing yards, 151 receiving yards, and 8 total touchdowns this spring. Wow, they got a guy that's solid for the Battlehawks. Per report, the hashtag Browns and star wide receiver Mari Cooper are struggling to agree on length and security of a contract extension, per Steinbrook NFL. I mean, he's still a really good receiver. Now, Isaiah Buggs, his latest arrest, he got arrested again. His latest arrest was reportedly due to breaking into the mother of his child's home with a tire iron and then dragged her down the stairs, at the Athletic HQ. The Chiefs, they're aware of this arrest, and they've declined to comment. Just kick this guy out of the league. Already two arrests? One for the cruelty, of his dogs, and now this one. Like, what's wrong with this guy? kick him out of the league. So remember that viral video of Bill Belichick leaving a house early in the morning? Well, apparently via the New York Post, it was actually the home of his 24-year-old girlfriend, who he's rumored to be, or Jordan Hudson, who he's rumored to be dating. He's still getting it in. He tore that ass up. That's crazy. Dude's reportedly dating a 24-year-old. He's what? How old is he? Like 70? Game's game, I guess. The hashtag Steelers could still sign running back Najee Harris to a long-term deal despite opting not to pick up his fifth-year option, says GM Omar Khan. And quote, it was a business decision that we had to make. I think May 2nd. But Najee's awesome to have around here. Love Najee as a player and a person. And just because we didn't pick it up, that doesn't exclude us from doing something with him for the long term. I think he'll get a long-term contract extension for him. I feel like he was better last year than he was the year before. And the line is not a bunch of Hall of Famers. Like, their offensive line's not that good, but he still had, what, over 1,000 yards, and he rushed for 1,000 plus yards every year. The Up and Adams show, Austin Acorn, why he ended up leaving the Chargers for the Commanders in a free agency. And quote, they wanted a guy to hand the ball off. They wanted a guy to hand the ball off to 300 times a year. That's not my game. A running back who doesn't want to run the ball. Okay. He basically admitted he's washed. But they did. But I'm just kidding. But yeah, that's really not his game. It feels like he's more of a receiving back than a running back. Like he'll get like 12, 14 rushes and 6 to 8 targets a game. Feels basically. And I talked about that. Already talked about that. Isaiah Buggs got arrested for a second time. Basically domestic violence and burglary. I can't say that word. I struggle with that, ladies and gentlemen. And T. Higgins signed his franchise tag and is going to report to training camp later this summer. And it's still going to be a long shot whether they get a long-term deal, but yeah. Jake Bates is signed with the Lions, UFL standout. I already talked about that. Yeah, it's all the NFL. All the NFL news I wanted to go over. So yeah, that's really all I have to say for this video. So until next time, Michael out. Peace.